Hello everyone. Yeah, this is Shadza aka Vita. Yes, and I'm back. Thank you for not stopping to watch and like and comment on my videos. Thanks for your support and everything. So just like I told you, this time we're going to be talking about information literacy, and today we are going to be talking about information sources. And when we talk about information sources, yes, information sources, what comes into your mind when you talk about information sources? So today's topic is about information sources. Information sources, and it's going to be presented by me, that is Shadza aka Vita. So information sources, these are materials, records, or documents that provide data or knowledge on a particular subject. There are different information sources. There are books, we have journals, we have articles, we have documents, we have newspapers, we have maps, we have social media platforms. There are a lot of information sources, but those information sources are categorized in different types. So they're divided into different types to make us easily understand. And these types, we have primary, we have secondary, we have tertiary. So these are materials, records, documents that provide data or knowledge on a particular subject. The primary sources is a direct, or what we call a piece of evidence of a particular event or at a particular time, related to a particular time. And for primary events, we take it that it has not been altered or analyzed. So that is what we call a primary. So we are going to look at the different types of information sources. And the different types, we have primary sources, secondary sources, and tertiary sources. When you talk about these different types of information sources, this is where I tell you that we have a lot of information sources, but they are categorized into different types of information sources. So we are going to first look at primary sources, and we shall go to secondary sources, then tertiary sources. So for primary sources, this is what we can look at as raw data, the original source of information. That is information that has not been analyzed, like information that has not been interrupted, like it has the real evidence, like what they have exactly seen is what they have written or put down. And that's what we can look at. That's what we call the primary source, the primary information source. Then when you talk about the secondary source, that is source that has been analyzed and interpreted. That is from the primary data. So that is interpreted information. That is the interpreted primary information. That's the interpreted primary data. They do not offer the new evidence, but they are just analyzed. Like you sit down and analyze something, you interpret it more, you sit down to make it more organized, and that's when we come up with a secondary source of information. Then when we talk about tertiary sources, these are sources that compile data on a particular topic. Okay, that's one's majorly come from the primary, a collection of a list of primary and secondary sources. So today we are going to talk about primary sources. What is a primary source? Just like I talked about, primary source is a direct piece of evidence created at a time of a particular event or by someone who directly experienced an event. That is a primary source. Just like I told you, this is a source of information that provides raw data, like raw facts. It always has first-hand information. It is put down directly experienced, like by a person. So that is the primary source. And it has primary sources of information have different characteristics, and some of these characteristics are originality. These sources are the first to provide information about something. So if that source is the first to provide information about something, maybe it was a piece of cloth, maybe a piece of art, and it is providing an information about something, and it is the first, that is what we call originality, and it has the character of a characteristics of primary source of information. Another characteristic is raw data. Raw data, that's primary source primary sources often present raw, unfiltered information. Their information is always unfiltered. Their information is always first-hand. The way it is, that's how they write it. It is not analyzed. It is not interpreted. It is not it is unfiltered. That is what we call raw data. The third characteristic of primary sources is unmediated evidence. There is no analysis from another person. The source itself is the evidence. Since I've told you that this information is not analyzed, which means the source itself is its evidence. The evidence of the source is just not the source itself is the evidence. And the other characteristics is time related. They are closely to the moment in which they are created. So those are some of the characteristics of primary sources. So here are some of the examples of primary sources. We have documents, creative work, we have artifactors, and scientific data. And I think if you look at these pictures, yeah, this is an example of a scientific data. These are some of the famous artifactors. Yeah, I may talk of artifactors and someone may be like, oh, what is that? But yes, these are some of the artifactors. Yeah, you can look for more examples about primary sources, and they are going to bring them for you. So these are some of the examples we have for primary sources of information. So the next thing, we are going to talk about the purpose of primary sources. One is raw evidence. When we talk of raw evidence, they offer unfiltered and unmediated access to the past or present, providing first-hand data. So raw evidence, they always provide first-hand data. They offer first-hand data that is unfiltered and unmediated. So that is one of the purposes. The second is research foundation. Primary sources serve as the cornerstone of original research, where a scholar can gather direct information to analyze. The third one is insight into context. They allow researchers to understand events or figures or phenomena from the perspective of those who lived them. What I mean by text into context, like it helps a researcher understand an event, understand the phenomenon from the perspective of those who lived it. Like it helps someone, and the importance of primary sources, they help someone understand something better, and it helps them analyze it from the perspective of those who lived it. We have also direct connection. For historical researchers, primary sources connect directly with the events or figures under investigations, making them invaluable in uncovering the fact of a specific time or place. So those are some of the purposes of primary sources. The next thing we can talk about, the role in research. What is the role of the primary sources in research? Primary sources are essential in the field that require original data or first-hand accounts. They are so essential in fields because there are some fields whereby you will always require original data or first-hand accounts, and primary sources are the best. So they are essential since they always provide first-hand data. They are very, very essential when it comes to the search fields whereby original data is required. So it is one of the roles of primary sources. So thank you for watching. Yes, in my next video I'm going to be talking about secondary sources of information. So don't forget to follow. Come, let's navigate this landscape of information literacy. It's always good to be informed. It's always good to be informed about something, to always be information literate, because it helps you when you're in your decision making. It helps you when you're in your research, doing your professional research, in a lot of things. It's always good to know. And learning never ends. To me, I believe learning never ends. No matter the age, no matter the time, everywhere you can learn, and at any age you can learn. Anyways, thank you for watching. I love you. Thanks for loving me. Thanks for liking my videos. I wish you a nice day. Bye bye. May God bless you.